My name on the order paper.
My Lords, the Government's public consultation about a potential resettlement of the British Indian Ocean Territory concluded on the 27th of October. We are now examining the results and hope to take a decision on the way ahead soon. This 12-week consultation drew views from around 1,200 Chagossians and continues the conversation with Chagossian communities as part of our review of resettlement policy started in 2012. That included an independent feasibility study which concluded at the end of January 2015.
My Lord, since this week is the 50th anniversary of the decision to provide for a United States base in Diego Garcia on British territory and in the Indian Ocean, and which then led to the decision to deport 1,500 Chagossians, most of whom were indigenous inhabitants. And since the KPMG report commissioned by the Foreign and Commonwealth Office has this year concluded that there is no reason why resettlement should not take place, will the government make next year's renewal of the United States-United Kingdom agreement conditional on a commitment by both parties to facilitate and support resettlement of the Chagossians, thus rectifying a grave human rights injustice?
My Lords, we regret, Her Majesty's Government do regret about the way the Chagossians were removed from the British Indian Ocean Territory in the late 1960s. And early 1970s. The government, like successive ones before it, have said what happened was clearly wrong, and which is why substantial compensation was rightly paid. My Lords, the Noble Lord mentioned the renewal of the agreement with the American military for occupation of Diego Garcia, and we will no doubt take these matters into account.
Lord, will the government publish a draft of their decision on?
I'm so sorry. I do think we're sort of we're getting out of habit here. I would suggest we go to the Labour benches first, and then we can go to the Lib Dem benches.
Is the Noble Earl the Minister aware that when I wrote to my noble friend Lady Ashton, then at the European Commission, to ask if the United Kingdom was eligible for European Union funding for resettlement, the answer was that we certainly were. Does the Minister agree that the cost of resettlement should not fall exclusively on the British taxpayer, and that apart from the European Union, the United States, international organisations and the private sector should be approached for funding and for investment?
My Lords, we will consider all these factors once the consultation is finished. There are the feasibility studies concluded, as I said earlier, on schedule, as there were still uncertainties around how any resettlement could work and potential costs. This is why we went into the consultation period system, and that is also why we're examining the results of that consultation very carefully now.
Publish a draft of their decision for consultation with the all-party group on the Chagos Islands, and will they also give both houses an opportunity of debating the review before a final decision on resettlement is made?
Lords, the Noble Lord makes a point relating to the all-party group, which I should draw attention to how their dedication in this issue over many years. Whether or not there will be an opportunity for this to be debated at some stage will depend on whether Noble Lords actually decide to try and get parliamentary time for it. But once the analysis is made, an announcement will be made by the government. Whether or not it is going to be published, I'll have to write to the Noble Lord.
Will my noble friend make quite sure that whatever arrangements are made, they protect and support the remarkable new ocean reserve which is around the Chagos Island, which is a proud part of Britain's dealings in this area?
My Lord, Noble Lord even refers to the marine protection area, and he is quite right that this is one of the most important areas on the whole planet of biodiversity in that sort of environment.
The government now appears to accept
that this was one of the more disgraceful episodes of our colonial history? And does he also accept that the Chagossians, the victims, will find it difficult after exile in Mauritius, in Seychelles and Crawley to return to life on those remote islands? What is being done about the provision of jobs? Is the US, for example, prepared to offer jobs on their base in Diego Garcia to those Chagossians who choose to return?
The Noble Lord makes a very good point, particularly relating to the Chagossian communities in Crawley and also in Manchester. And of course, they've got to be able to want a certain lifestyle when they return, if they return to those islands. My Lords, I know that in the KPMG report, they did actually look at the numbers that could possibly be employed by the authorities on Diego Garcia, but I can tell the House that until we actually go make a final examination of this consultation, nothing yet has been agreed to.
There have been 16 years of litigation which have been very costly.
My Lords, as a member of the all-party group on the Chagos Islands, can I ask the Noble Lord the Minister to be more precise about the word soon? Because soon is a word that's been used by successive governments for the last 8 years, to my certain knowledge, and frankly, we would like some more precision.
My Lord, somebody whispered in my ear very soon. But I and other Noble Lords have been members of this House for a very long time, and the term soon has been used, but I can assure the Noble Lord it will be soon.
16 years, my Lords, there have been 16 years of litigation which have been very costly to the taxpayer and to Britain's human rights reputation. Will the government undertake to abide by the forthcoming ruling of the Supreme Court, the UK Supreme Court, concerning the right of abode and the marine protected area?
My Lords, I can't comment on exact cases going through the courts at present, but if there is any more details, I will write to the Noble Baroness.
Lord West of Spithead.
I beg leave to ask a question standing in my name on the order paper. My Lords, Her Majesty's Government's first priority is the safety and security of British citizens. We, of course, keep aviation security arrangements under close review, and we will act where we need to, as we have done in the case of flights from Sharm el-Sheikh. Of course, the Noble Lord will appreciate we do not comment in detail on security arrangements. I declare my interest in security in the Register, and I thank the Noble Lord the Minister for his answer. But in 2009, we were getting very concerned about security at foreign airports.